Morning, Phil.
Morning! Everybody alright?
Oh, you look a lot nicer with that on.
Well, you brought the weather with you.
I certainly have.
Horrible. What's the surname again?
Norwich.
Norwich. Ah, there we go, Alan. Alan Norwich, he's paid his £20, haven't you?
Well, I have, yeah. Well, let's have a good peg.
Now let's draw Mr. Norwich a peg. And it is 25. Happy days.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Phil.
Good luck.
Well, good morning, fish people. I'm Alan Norris from Fish on TV. It is Sunday, the 8th of August. And as you've probably seen, I am at Barston Lakes for a golden reel qualifier. And I've just drawn, and I'm sure you've just seen that as well, I've just drawn peg 25. I'm pretty sure it's the same peg, or very close to the peg that I drew in the Maver match this. It's where I lost the fish. It went round to the right, four pegs, went down 4 pegs, and I lost it. Everybody was striking, the hooks pulled out. So peg 25. It's an okay area. It's not an area where you just think, oh damn it. It's an area that could produce, but I've just heard that Sam Brown's drawn at peg 52. He came second in the Fishmania final. That is an on fire peg at the minute, peg 52, so good luck, Sam. Andy Kinder, who I met this morning for breakfast, took me to a little gem near East Midlands Airport. We had a breakfast there this morning. He's drawn one of his favourite areas. I know it's one of his favourite areas. He's not had a big smile on his face, but he'll be absolutely giggling inside. He has drawn peg 17. Well done, Andy Kinder. He loves that area. But he has said, you know, down the way, the area from sort of 13 up towards the island, that gravel bar I was on about, it's pretty much like a firm area all round. So it's, I think today I'll be keeping it dead simple. It'll be a long method, short method. I've got a bomb rod set up where I'll be firing pellets. I was going to set the pellet waggler up, but the weather looks really miserable. Apparently they've been catching at sort of 16 metres slapping. I heard somebody was slapping at 17.5 metres. There's no limits on poles down here. But I don't think it's slapping weather today. I'd be surprised. It's a little bit of chop on it. There's a big tow on this lake, and it's miserable, so it's low pressure. I'm hoping they're going to be getting their heads down. I'm expecting a few fish. I'm hoping it's not going to be one of those days where there's just nothing happening at all, but here at Barston that can happen. It's not prolific catching all the time in all the pegs. It is pretty peggy. But hopefully this area, like I said, I've fished it before, and everybody caught something in that area. So let's just hope that they've balled up a little bit in front of me. And I've got at the side of me on peg 26, Lee Mushy Farmer. Oh, Mushy. If you remember, Catty pulls his pellets anywhere, and anybody's peg will do, he says. I've just spoke to him this morning, so I'm sure I'll have a decent laugh with him this morning. He got to the Fishmania final again. Lovely kid, so I'm sure it should be good fun, if anything else. So, looking forward to it. Let's get down to the bank. Let's see if we can catch a few fishies. Right. Oh, peg 25. And I'm going hoo-hoo. I've just seen a fish top to my left, pretty short. Don't think it was the biggest. And there was no fish topping in front of me until literally, as I clicked the camera on, I've seen one or two slightly to my left at about the distance I've clipped up at. We could see them in Mushy's peg a little bit further out, opposite 122 I think it is, at about 90 metres, and I think he's clipped up to about that far. In fact, I've just seen another one. He's fishing today the bomb and the PVA bag, and he's going to give it an almighty cast out there, and that works very well here. I've not got anything like that set up. Dead simple approach for me, like I said, long feeder, short feeder, bomb and pellets, and that's pretty much it. Very simple way of fishing today, and it's a proven way of catching plenty of fish. But I'm looking opposite me there, you're wondering why I keep looking up. Peg 124, it is one of probably the most famous pegs in the UK, 124 at Barston. Even though it's not performed very well this year so far, he has got 123 is not in and 122 is not in. That is going to take some beating today. But having said that, Mushy's casting over there. Go on, Mushy. Leaf armour. So he's got all that to himself. Andy Kinder's down to my left on on peg 17, and the wind's blowing into us, which it's a bit of a bummer if it starts raining, but I quite like that. I think it goes against 124 a little bit, but if he gets it right, casts all down that bank in there, he could end up with a few fish. So let's have a look at the peg and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right, let's see if I can get it, because it's hard to see on this little camera. 124 is there, and he's got 123, 122 is empty. Lee is here, and he's casting out to here. Now me, I'm going to be feeding at 25 metres round about here with a bomb and pellet, and I'm going to head towards 124 at about, I've clipped up at 50 metres there at the minute, and I have seen 1 or 2 fish. I'm going to have a few sort of 4 to 5 minute casts to start with, just to get a little bit of bait down there, and then I'll start leaving it a little bit longer, and I'll be pinging pellets out short. We'll see what happens from there, and if I see anything in these areas here, you never know, I'm going to have a little try down there and just see if we can sneak 1 or 2 fish really short. But Andy says he's never had anything that short, but we shall see. Right, if I drop in, I've been talking to Johnny Arthur, nice fella. He's on peg 30 something, 31 I think he said he was. He's not over thrilled with that, but he's a mighty fisherman, is John. He's watching my videos, well, we were watching one of my videos the other day, bless him. I watches and all. Right, I'll go have a chat with Andy Kinder. Oh, I'll show me bait tray, here we go, look. Bait tray. So we've got normal pellets, a tiny little bit of swim sting ground bait, and I just like to do that now and again. It just helps bind a little bit better. And I don't know, and I'll be probably putting some unsoaked pellets in now and again in both, just for a little bit of snap crack, what I call snap crackle and pop. That's just micros with a bit of ground bait. This is 4 mils of micros in the swim stim, the swim stim one, and I've just soaked those overnight. Those I've done today, so a little bit harder in the middle, the release a little bit different to those. Sorry about the plane. There we go, look. Can you see it? Yeah, anyway, I've got 8 mils for short. I might ping the odd 1 or 2 of those, but they're going to go on the hook. Just a different change of bait, that's all. I was on my hooks, a few wafters, so I've got Speedy's wafter there, chocolate orange ringers and Batex wafters there, all different colours, and a little bit of squidgeridoo. Hopefully I'm going to be clicking a couple of £100 on that. Don't be laughing, don't laugh, and that's my timer. There we go. And believe it or not, I've been read, there's nearly 50 minutes to go. So, that's it. Looking forward to it. We'll have a chat with 1 or 2 people. 1 or 2 mighty fishermen. I might take the camera and see if we can get them on, maybe, I don't know yet. But looking forward to it. I think I'm going to get some fish today. Come on, the caps. Well, I just had a walk down, and I'm not sat on my peg, I'm sat on peg 17 here, look. Peg 17. This is Andy Kinder's peg. He's here, look, the main man. You got to fancy it, Andy, because there's 1 or 2 fish knocking about there.
Fancy. Listen, at the end of the day, it's always an area. It's an area that throws fish up consistently.
Yeah.
But it's like I've said all along here at Barston, you know, all these pegs are good here.
Yeah.
You know, any of these teens from sort of like 14 down to 20, you've got a chance of catching them, but somebody will catch him.
Yeah. And
you can be next peg, and no matter what you'll do, you'll not pull. The fish will stop in one of the pegs where they feel safest and happiest. Yeah. And somebody will catch a pile, and you can just watch them all day.
You were happy here though, because you've drawn it before, haven't you?
I've drawn this area numerous times, like, yeah. And like I say, I'd take these pegs 52 weeks a year, like,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Summer, winter, you've always a chance of a few.
And what about my peg? Peg 25.
25? It's going up towards, listen, a few years ago, 25, 26, 27, 28 were always a really, really good area. Chicken. We're always a really, really good area. But recently, doesn't seem to have had a lot of foam out.
Yeah.
But you never know, because it's. I always say at Barston, if you're between the island and the 18th green,
you've a chance.
you've half a chance.
Yeah, no, that's
Half a
what we're
chance.
looking for. And just as I was just sat in this peg, just to see what it feels like to be sat in a master's peg. He's got all his gear set up. We've got Teddy here, look. He's nice and comfy under his brolly. And just as I looked out, there a mighty carp topping about 70 metres, and I reckon he's going to be targeting out there. So always has a chat with us, does Andy. We're both looking forward to it, and I do fancy him to catch a few fish here today. So there we go. How long's left? 20 minutes, and then we're away. Right, over and out. See you soon. I can't really believe it, folks, but tip went round after 3 minutes, and I hooked into a right beast. I don't think I don't know, I can't I tied my own hook lens and it broke right on where the hook is. Didn't half go, but I think I looked into it's a big bream. Oh no. That one was a bream on this cast, that's the second cast. But the first one, oh, it's so annoying. Nice bream that. There we go. But the first fish, damn it, it's very rare I get breaks on the hook. All I can think of is I must have just been a little bit heavy-handed when I was tying it. Losing a bloody fish that size. First few minutes, been a right start. Right, another mighty plane going across. 2 bites, 2 casts. 15 minutes in. So we can't complain. That bite came after 6 minutes. I was ready for bringing it in. I just thought, no, I'll give it a little bit longer. And round it went after 6 minutes. So the first one 3. But I had it on for a while. Just get them pressing a bit more. But not to worry. Hopefully there'll be a few more beasts out there. Nice white wafter micros. Right, let's get it back in. Just the one bream. Lost a nice one. Yeah. Right, there you go. Well, these just had one about £7. Don't think this is a £7. I could be wrong. You just can't tell really until you get them in. But it's from towards me to start with. I thought I'd missed it. So it could be a carp or a big F1. I'm not sure yet. It's certainly not gone like the first one that I hit. That was definitely a beast. I haven't seen it yet, I think so. That wind's getting up, so I do apologise if it's blowing through. There's a carp, it's not the biggest. Oh, it's a bit bigger than I thought actually. About £6-ish. Yeah, I'll give him 5.5. Not as big as Mushy's, he reckons his was 7. Nicely hooked. we go. We're off the mark with carps. 5 or 6 pound maybe. Oh, he's come to life in the net. Oh, I'd have been off to a right start. I wonder if I'd have got that first one. Right, let's get another white wafter on. We like white wafters, don't we, Jamie? Jamie Wild, he likes white wafters. Right, let's get gas back in. Right, quick update for you. The bag and pellet's working for Lee. I think he's on his 3rd carp now, and he's had some skimmers and an F1. He's had one about £10. This looks like a decent one he's got on. I've had a carp, that bream, and the tip's gone round 3 more times, but they've been little skimmers, about 6 ounce each. You can't write it, can you? So every time he gets a fish, it's a decent one. £10 skimmers he calls them. But mine are really little skimmers, about this big. Greedy little buggers. And that's where we are, 1 hour in. Tip's going round, but they're not the fish I'm wanting, so I've had a liner, so I'm just wondering if there's fish where I've been firing pellets mulling about there, so could be worth a quick look. If I get another liner or two, I might have a quick look on that, but keep firing pellets out there. I've seen Peg 124, he's just landing another fish. I've seen him get 1 or 2, so he's definitely catching. But he's bouncy, but he's got loads and loads of room around him there, and that is a difficult peg to beat when it's on form. Don't know how many kinders going on. Can't really keep my eye on him all the time. Oh, he's getting his landing net out, he's got one on. So Andy's doing well. Like I said, there were fish in front of him at about, it looked 60 to 70 metres ish, but he's clipped up for that sort of distance. He knows what he's doing here, Andy. Loves this place. So Mushy's giving me a lesson at the minute. Need that tip to go around and have a few decent lumps. There we go. Just so you can see what keeps pulling my bloody tip round. Mushy's getting all these mighty fish, and I'm getting these bloody things. Them. Greedy little buggers. Wafter's nearly as big as its mouth. You can't write it, can you? Right, there we go. I had to show you where I'm catching. I've had about 5 or 6 of them now. Right, there we go. Right, we're 2¼ hours in. It's gone pretty dire. Lee's not had a bite for an hour, he reckons. Not an indication. I've had indications, but all I'm catching is little skimmers. I've had a look short. Same thing, skimmers. Taking an 8mm wafter. I've had a little look on bomb with a. Yeah, Lee's just said. I've noticed that 124, which we said it's not done much all year, but it's got that much room there now. He's emptying it apparently. Keep seeing him catch 1 or 2 fish. But it's struggling. Really struggling. I keep feeding the short line with pellets. I've noticed Lee's doing exactly the same. It seems to be what most people do here. Keep feeding this short line with 8mm pellets. I put about 10 pellets in twice. I'll do it a couple of times. I'll give it 5 minutes and I'll do it again. And what usually happens is you get fish turning up towards the end, hopefully, and it did happen in my match. The last time I fished here, guy on this peg, he had 4 fish for about £80. They were big lumps. Every time I talk, there's a plane going across. So, yeah, it's pretty painful at the minute. We just can't seem to get any fish. I can't seem to get any decent fish. Like I said, Lee's, I've got about £10-ish, maybe a little bit more. Lee's 35. 124. Not sure, it's hard to tell where he's at, but every time I look up he seems to be landing a fish, so don't know how the kinder's getting on. But it's just gone dire. So let's hope we get a visit on the short line. Right, I'm due a recast, so that's your update. Not very good. Oh dear. Well, the skimmer fest just continues. It'd be great at Southfield with this light, but it's no good here. Another skimmer. I just cannot get past them. Don't matter what I do, what I change. Just skimmers. It's ridiculous. Nice bites, you think, oh, here we go. No, skimmers. Bloody things. What's she supposed to do? Not sure, but I've just heard Mushy on phone. Not sure if they're catching on. So excuse me, just had a sandwich on 17 to 20. I'm not sure if they're catching on. I'll ask him in a minute and find out. I've not seen 124 get anything since we last checked in. That's 20 minutes or so. But yes, I'm just getting skimmered out. A bit frustrating, I must admit. Let's get this wafter set right. It's wrapped round. There we go. In trouble when it twists around like this. These QM1s that bend over. There we go. Gotcha. Set properly. So we'll get back in. I've tried short, Mushy's tried short. Nothing at the minute short. I don't know how the guy to my left's doing because I can't see him, there's a bush in my way. Right, I'll get chucked in. Right, there's an hour and a half to go. Still no decent fish apart from the old skimmer. I'm on my short line at the minute. Mushy reckons he's £35, could be 40, you don't know. Steve at side of me, he's just said he's had a £20 earlier. £20 carp, a 6-pounder. And a load of skimmers. I've noticed him fishing for skimmers. But the word on the bank, it's fishing rock hard everywhere. So I'm just looking now, peg 124, he's into another one. No idea what he's got. So he could be today's winner. 124, if they are decent fish that he's catching, and it looks like he's got a decent one on now. So on this bank, I mean section wise, I don't know, it's like he's 35, £50 could win the section in this on this bank. I'm still on round about 10, maybe a little bit more, I don't know, 10ish, 10, 11. But it's just no signs of any decent fish at all. At all. Yes. Yeah, it looks like a nice fish that he's got over there. Yeah, definitely a carp, I think. So God knows what he's got over there, but it's got to be in with a shout, because I've seen him landing it out quite a few times, but having said that, is he landing skimmers? We don't know. Certainly that's not a skimmer. Splashing about, I can see it splashing about from here. So let's just hope we have a visit from several big carp. It's just not happening at all, is it? Right, that's your update. Not a lot of action. Sun's out. I know I've got my coat on, but when you take your coat off, it's a bit chilly because it is a strong wind. That it's difficult to get my pellets accurate as well. Right, over out. Well, the bite was just like the skimmers, and it's a carp, I think, or a big F1. Let's hope it stays on. Feels okay. It still don't feel like that first one I had this morning. That felt really heavy, that one. Oh, it's the bees that get away. Stop laughing at yourself, Alan. Stop laughing at yourself. I've gone out 4 metres in total. I went out 2 metres earlier, and then I was just sick of these skimmers. So I've just been edging out. And there's quite a bit of bait out there, micros, that I've been putting around the feeder, so I'll just edge out a little bit more, and then 4 minutes in it went round. It was such a lovely steady bite. I thought, oh, another skimmer. Lifted up. That's not a skimmer. Right, down to my shock leader. Does it feels quite heavy. Let's hope it's a nice fish. Can't see where the line is. It's funny light. Right, it's difficult to see it lying. There it is. Come on, fish. It's a decent enough size. I think it's a £10 plus maybe. Whoa, that wind's blowing me bloody landing net. He's a heavy one, I'll give him that. Come on. Yeah.
Had it long?
Yeah. At 5 minutes. Always wanting to go. Let's bring him back in. He does feel heavy. Do I need a bigger boat? Come on, fish. Oh yeah, it's a nice one. Oh, it only just goes in the landing net. That's a beauty. Oh yes. He's a nice one. He has got to be £12 plus, I reckon. Maybe. There you go, look at that for a whopper. Yes, that's a lovely fish. There are some carps in Barston. Get in. Right, another 5 or 6 of those. They do nicely. There you go, nice update. Right, I was just about to say, there's half an hour left. I've gone on my short line, I've had a few skimmers. And it seems like I've got another skimmer. Nothing big turned up there, but I'm going to sit it out. That's last time we were in this area. I think it was, oh, that's just pulled off. Little skimmer. They only just took them as well, really lightly when you get them. Kieran had a couple of, no, he had 4 £20 in the last sort of 50 minutes, the guy that was beside him last time. So there's half an hour to go. Mushy's had a small carp and a bream, I think. Only half an hour to go, so I need a miracle. So I'm just going to sit it out on short line and just hope what they call the pinging line. Something decent turns up. Could just do with a couple. Just to see, get me somewhere near for my section would be nice. There we go. Well, on the short line again. It's a nice bream, is that? That's what he stays on. That's all I've had is skimmers on the short line. These are nice size. Yeah. I wish all my skimmers had been like that. Right, bag full. Mushy's cracked off again. There you go. Bless him. Can't say it's the same though, because I've done it as well. Bloody wind, always happens in this wind. Right, 15 minutes to go. Let's get back out. Right then, fish people, it's all weighed in, all done dusted, and I couldn't believe it. Mushy said to me at the side of me, he said, and you're weighing in with me. Can you believe it again? I just get the scales all the time. Oh, dearie me. Right, it is the day after. I had a long way to travel. I didn't go in and film the presentation. I think, in fact, I'm 100% certain, I spoke to David Wood about it, there was a winner from peg 20 who was in my section. So we'll get onto that any minute. My fishing today, I lost a great lump right at the beginning, first cast. I had quite a few bites in that first hour, but as you saw, lots of skimmers. I had a nice one, about 3 or 4 pound, and then lots of skimmers. I was fishing a hybrid feeder. Well, actually, the new Preston Duro Banjo, but it's just like an hybrid feeder, really. Cast lovely. 55 metres. I've got the short line as well, the pinging line, which it never kicked in really. That I don't think it kicked in for anybody all down that bank. In fact, the whole lake has fished really, really hard. Kept trying the short line, nothing but skimmers. I think I had a 12 or 13 pounder, 12, 13 pound carp, just a bite out of the blue, but there was no consistency with it whatsoever. The method, or should I say hybrid feeder, Duro Banjo feeder, whatever you want, usually works quite well on there. But I've got to say, I'm watching Mushy at the side of me, Lee Farmer. He was using the sort of tea bag and a 2-ounce bomb, and he was launching it. I would say I was fishing at 55. He was at least 20 metres further, might have been a bit more. And he had the same size wafter on as me, and he was catching carp. I kept getting skimmers. If all my bites would have been carp, I would have probably won the day, but I'm sure there's lots of other people could have said that, because the word on the bank, as people were passing, asking how we'd gone on, I got talking to quite a few. Everybody's caught lots and lots, have been plagued with skimmers. When I was talking to Lee, he said, yeah, I've started using the, he says, this is the only way I fish now. The wafter he was using was exactly the same size as my wafters. So if people would say, you know, comment on this video, try a bigger wafter, that'll get rid of them. Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't get any skimmers. And I moved left and right in my peg, and it didn't matter where I went, I got skimmers. And he says, I think it's all these soft micros round the feeder with the wafter, they just hoover everything up that's there, including your wafter. Why they don't go for his wafter with the tea bag, I can't quite work that out, because I suppose it's because it's not quite as close, it's not right in all the bait. So the wafter's stuck up there for a big carp to hoover up a little bit later on. I don't know the answer. I'd like to see some footage on the difference. So if Matrix and Rob Hughes can get together, let's have a look at that one just to see why that's happening. It would be quite interesting, that as a video. So basically, cut a long story short, it's fished hard for everybody. I've ended up with 28.5 pound. It's come fourth in my section, and I've forgotten his name. I know his nickname's Paddy. Where is it? McMallen, I think. I can't quite read his writing. Paddy McMallen. He's coming with 89 pounds, and I think he's taking the match out for that. He's into the final. So what a mighty fisherman you are, Paddy. Well done, son. And he's fished teabag as well. It was a 2 or 3 up from Andy Kinder, and Andy's been plagued with skimmers as well. But the again, wafter and teabag. PVA bag that is filled with, I'm not sure what he'd have had in. I know Mushy had micros in, some put 4 mils in, some put 6 mils in, or a mixture. So that's what's happened there. I think there was about a 60 pound, a 40 pound, and then me. Mushy had 60 odd, that's right, and then there were 40 odd pound, and I don't think there was any more. Was there any more bigger weights? There was a 17, a 27, and a couple of DNWs. So it's fished pretty poor. A prediction of £150 plus was predicted to win the match, but that's not happened. It's fished very difficult. Had a quick chat with John Arthur on peg 31. Nice to have a chat with you today, John. And he's ended up with £20 or so of skimmers. They said they just didn't think there were any carp in the area where he was. So just shows, I mean, John's a mighty fisherman, as you all know. Everybody struggled. A lot of people walking past me, they've all been shaking their head, just saying it's been impossible. So my 28.5 pounds doesn't look that bad. But can you believe it was just 1 peg down from the last time I fished it? Not a bad area. I do know a few years ago they reckoned that they were the pegs, but for some reason it seems to be in the teens and the 50s at the minute. 124's not really produced very much of late, but apparently you'd always take 124 if that turns up. Great game. So that's it. That's another qualifier out of the way. No good again. I have got the UK champs. It's Monday today while I'm talking, on Wednesday at Decoy Lakes. I've been talking to David Wood. He's like, oh God, he's having a bit of a mare. Well, I'm not having a great one, but I'm doing better than last year. So we've got Decoy Lakes on Wednesday. Really looking forward to that. You will never get me down, no matter how bad a fishing day I have. Love me fishing. Will always be cheerful on every match fishing day. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. The insights to Barston Lakes Golden Reel Qualifier. So there we go. And it was good talking to you again, Mushy. Captain Crackoff. Bless him. Right, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, folks, if you do enjoy my videos, it's absolutely free to subscribe. If you click the notification bell, you will get all my videos as we upload them, and a thumbs up would be very, very nice. So until Wednesday, we shall see you on the bank at Decoy Lakes. Take care, folks, and don't forget, fish on.